Hey guys, Beast here, and I got a few PMs about when I was talking about the through bolt upgrade, the Eagle Mike's through bolt upgrade, and there are a couple pros and a couple cons. And so before we go any further, I'm going to stop and sort of address this. One of the biggest issues, it is some controversy in the KLR world. Imagine that, being on forums and people disagreeing with each other. Your subframe is hooked up through a through bolt up there, or if you've done the upgrade. Otherwise, there's 2 bolts on each side, and then down here there's 2 bolts at the bottom. And if I can show you here real quick, there's the bottom attachment, and the top of the subframe connects up there. So there's a couple different ways you can go. You can either get an upgraded bolt kit so that the physical hardware that you're installing in here is a better quality hardware. There's a lot of theory that people just simply don't have these tightened down, and if they're less, quarter to a half turn out, there's going to be some wiggle room in there, and then there's possibility of them shearing off. So whether or not it's the stock hardware failing or not from the strength, or it's just they got rattled loose, they weren't maintained by the owner. There's plenty of online pictures of people losing their subframe bolts or shearing them off, and then the whole thing seesaws, and it's impossible to ride at that point. So the upgraded kit, you obviously get like 10.9 hardware down there, and then you get 10.9 hardware up there. The Eagle Mike drill through kit adds a little bit of element. Let's see if she'll focus here. It adds this guy in here, and this one you're going to have to drill through, and that's where some of the controversy comes in, and let's talk about that. Alright guys, so I've got you to the top back part of the neck here at the saddle where the through bolt essentially goes, and what a lot of people are going to tell you is just to do just that hardware kit, and I don't disagree with it. I think that's a perfectly applicable thing, especially if you're using red Loctite and you make sure that that thing is torqued down, and it's part of your pre-ride inspection to make sure that's tight. I honestly, being unknowing somewhat of the KLR world, when I first got the KLR, I decided, well, this has to be better. The thing you need to be sure about is if you look in here, that is not the full diameter all the way through. This neck gets very narrow, and let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. All right, got zoomed in just a little bit more. So what you can see is the thickness that you see from the outside is not necessarily the thickness you see from the inside. So when you drill this through, you just have to be very careful that you are keeping it centered. And what I did is I started on this side, went in a little bit, and then finished and came in from this side. And again, as I mentioned before, excuse me, I did stop. I let the drill bits cool. I had 2 of them. I was switching off in between. I used plenty of sort of tap penetration lube for drills, and then I also sharpened them in between. So I was making sure that I wasn't putting too much pressure on it, which can cause sort of the drill to wander. I did just use a hand drill. I wasn't using an actual like drill press or anything like that, and I was able to maintain a straightness in there. The worry is that you're gonna basically drill at an angle, and you're going to somehow weaken this bit in here. Now, I don't know how much structural that piece has. I'm not an engineer, but if I've got this through bolt that is carried from the outside collars on a round tube, I'm going to be pretty happy with that strength there. So in the end, I believe that the Eagle Mike's kit through bolt kit is the way to go. It is certainly a lot more work to get that. I like the peace of mind of knowing that I've got an entire solid bolt all the way through that. That's just a personal preference, but do be aware that there are issues and people on forums that are going to tell you just to be careful. Definitely the easiest thing is to just up your hardware. If you're worried about it, you could drill this into a bigger diameter and then tap it out with a tap and die set to even bigger hardware that only comes into this thick part. That would certainly be it. This is definitely sort of a turnkey, drill the hole. It comes with the drill bit when you buy the kit. Just be sure you got plenty of red Loctite on there. And then of course there's even a nice spacer collar that fills in this thread piece on the inside of your subframe. So this has been Beast with the Eagle Mike drill through kit. Just be aware you're going to get controversy wherever you go. This is what I decided to go with, but just be aware of some of the potential issues if you decide to do that. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you down the road. Let me know if you have any other questions regarding the KLR build. I'll be happy to oblige you. Hey guys, just want to give you a huge thank you for the continued support that you always give me. We'll be putting out more content as always, everything from the high Arctic down to Antarctica and everywhere in between for our adventures on two wheels. We'll catch you down the road. Thanks again, guys.